So I have to ask women, where are you? With all of these dragged kings, are we helping or are we hindering? What are we doing from the whole house to the White House? Are we in position or are we out of order?
Shemeka, I argued in my fire starter, my mono, that 3 black lesbians started Black Lives Matter and they married the black community and black voters to the LGBTQ movement. What say you about Black Lives Matter marrying us to the LGBTQ movement?
I agree with you, Jason, but I feel like they did it long before, like you were talking about with Huey P. Newton, and we think about Jesse Jackson and the Rainbow Coalition. I think it's been done for a long time. There's nothing new under the sun. But what bothers me and what kind of stuck out to me in your column were the words dragged king. It actually took my breath away and brought me to tears, literally, because I just began to drag means to pull someone along forcefully. And I thought about how we complain, but I have to ask men, when are you going to stand up? When are you going to be what the Bible said, and that's the head and not the tail? Of course, our history is deeper and greater than slavery. But when I think about Black men in America, I have to think about them being dragged by slavery and that system, dragged by the government in the Jim Crow era, and now dragged by women. Royce talked about how feminism has had an effect on especially the Black community and Black men. That dragged king for me just really hit home. And I have to ask the women a question as well. Where are you? Where are you? Because of course, I'm not saying that Black men are incompetent and they need a savior. They have a savior. I'm not saying that they are helpless, because their help cometh from the Lord. But the Lord put something in place, which was women to help. When God looked at Adam, he looked at him and said, it's not good that man should be alone. He could have given him a dog because he's omniscient and he's all-knowing. He knew that one day they would say a dog is a man's best friend, but he didn't. He could have given him a child because he's God, and he could have done it in any order that he wanted to do. He could have even given him another Adam and threw a wig on him, threw up his hands and said, my work here is done, but he didn't. He gave him a woman to help. So I have to ask women, where are you? With all of these dragged kings, are we helping or are we hindering? What are we doing from the whole house to the White House? Are we in position or are we out of order? And my answer, I think, is that we are all out of order.
Let me come at what you just said a slightly different way, and because I think we're in agreement. But like, to me, what I see from women, and in this case, I'm talking specifically Black women, but it's like the incentives that a woman offers a man are out of line. And because, again, because there's something about a man that, or most men, that special place between a woman's thighs is his greatest incentive, or it competes with nearly God and everything else, and it's like the incentives to get to that place now are basically to fall in line with the matriarchy. Let the woman dominate, let the woman be the leader, feminize yourself, and we will give you access to that very special place. And that's where the incentives are wrong. And it's like a masculine man, a man that wants to be a leader, he's not getting those incentives. And to the point, again, because I just sit here and I just ask us, black men and just black people in general. And again, it's not to denigrate but just to ask, like, are we in line just biblically with what we say we believe, that 3 lesbian women could start a movement and we all hopped, or all is a strong word, but many of us hopped on board with Black Lives Matter. They didn't lie about who they were and what they were committed to. Lesbians, trained Marxists, they acknowledged all this, and we just hopped on board. I mean, we just, and so clearly the incentives they're offering men forbid them from getting to that special place that men like to get to. And so, and I'm looking at us as men. We hopped on board with that. Like, here's 3 women that say, no, you have no access to whatever it is you're looking for from me. And we're starting an organization, but we think so little of you and you're so stupid and shallow, you'll hop on board with the movement we're starting that is actually dragging you away from all of your beliefs and values. That's where I question, like, hey, what is it we're doing, and do we fully understand? And almost to the point where, I come off as sexist, but again, there's just no part of me that's going to bow to the matriarchy, and again, it's not that I have a problem. I've had female bosses who have helped me and have been assets or whatever, but in terms of my core values and allowing them to shape them, no dice. I'm gonna go to the Bible, and I'm gonna go to some religious elders, and elders by nature of the Bible have to be men. That's gonna be my path moving forward. Anyway, I don't even know if I have a question. I'll just let you respond to that.
I don't think you're sexist at all, Jason. I think you're absolutely right. You better not bow, because to obey is better than sacrifice. So you better obey God, because we have seen the fruit of what happens when we don't. And you're absolutely right that men are bowing. I saw a post from a woman. She put a picture up of her daughter in a pink tutu, and the father was holding the daughter in a pink tutu. And she said, it's a great feeling to see my daughter fall in love with the man that I fell in love with. This man is in a pink tutu, but this woman is praising him because to her, this is like love. This is what should happen. Your man is bending over. We talk about buck breaking. You've heard that term for years, but you're actually assisting in breaking this man who is supposed to be your protector, who is supposed to be the head, who is supposed to be the leader of your family, who is supposed to be the provider. You're aiding and assisting him in being feminine and effeminized in front of the world. It's error, it's wrong, and we see what has happened when men have bowed down to women, and it's time. Again, when are you going to get tired of being dragged? You have to stand up and put your feet flat-footed and say no more, because it's obvious that women are not going to take their rightful place until men take their rightful place. And you have to just say, it might be good, but you're not good for me if you're not doing what you're supposed to be according to the Bible. You're not being to me who you're supposed to be. That's not the right woman for you. If she's not the Eve to your Adam, you need to turn around and run. So, Jason, I totally agree with you. Do not bow.